Okay, so we really need to talk about something. There's this new form of marijuana that's popping up everywhere, and it's not what you might think. It's being used with these slick, high-tech vapes, and it is so incredibly potent that it's completely changing our understanding of what marijuana can even do to a person. Seriously, this is a whole new ballgame.
4 times. Let that sink in. The concentrates we're going to be talking about can be up to 4 times stronger than even the highest grade marijuana you can find. And that massive jump in potency is exactly why we need to be paying very, very close attention to this.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into this super potent new form. Then, we'll get into what exactly these concentrates are and where vaping comes into the picture. From there, we'll tackle the much bigger risks. And we'll wrap up by looking at the really uncertain future this whole trend is creating. And I want to be super clear about this from the get-go. We're not just talking about a slightly stronger version of what you might picture. No, this is a fundamental shift. It's changing what the substance even is and what it's capable of.
Okay, take a look at this. It really puts the difference in power into perspective. You see that first bar? That's high-grade marijuana, which is already pretty strong, right? It clocks in at around 20% THC. But then, look at concentrates. They can blast off anywhere from 40 to a mind-blowing 80% THC. So yeah, this isn't just a little step up. It's like comparing a go-kart to a rocket ship.
So what is this stuff that packs such an insane punch? Let's get right into it and define what a marijuana concentrate actually is.
So, at its most basic level, a concentrate is, well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a product where the THC, and that's the part of marijuana that gives you the high, has been pulled out of the plant and, you guessed it, concentrated into this super, super potent form. And here's the thing. If you saw it, you probably wouldn't even guess it's marijuana. It usually looks a lot like honey or even butter, and it has this kind of golden brown color. Because it looks so different, it's picked up a ton of different street names. Yeah, there's a whole world of slang that's built up around it. You'll hear people talking about wax, honey oil, butter, shatter, and one of the big ones is 7110, which if you flip it upside down, kind of looks like the word oil. The fact that there are so many names for it really tells you how widespread this stuff has become.
Okay, so how in the world is this stuff even made? Well, one of the most common methods is, frankly, it's pretty scary. It uses butane. Yep, the same stuff in lighters, which is super flammable, to basically blast the THC right out of the plant material. It is an incredibly dangerous process. We're talking about real, violent explosions happening in homemade labs all over the place.
But the concentrate itself is only half the story here. The real game changer, the thing that's making this trend explode, is how it's being used. And that's through vaping. And just so we're all on the same page, vaping is not the same as smoking. There's no fire, no burning. What happens is an electronic device heats up the substance, the concentrate in this case, until it turns into a vapor, or an aerosol that you can inhale.
Now, this is where the element of secrecy really comes into play. These vaping devices are often designed to be incredibly discreet. I mean, they can look just like a USB flash drive, a pen, or some other random gadget. That makes it almost impossible for parents or teachers to even know what they're looking at.
I mean, just think about the difference for a second. Smoking regular marijuana leaves behind a really strong, unmistakable smell and a cloud of smoke, right? But vaping one of these concentrates? The vapor can have almost no smell at all, and it vanishes in seconds. It's easy to see why that level of concealment is a huge, huge draw. So, let's recap. We've got a substance that's up to 4 times stronger than what we're used to, being consumed with a method that's super easy to hide. Now, let's get to the most important part of this whole conversation, the serious risks that come along with it.
And the research on this is pretty blunt. It says that because it's so concentrated, the effects can be more psychologically and physically intense than using the plant form. I mean, it just makes sense, right? A much, much higher dose of THC is going to lead to a much, much more intense experience. It's not even in the same league.
Look, we've known for a long time about the potential psychological effects of regular marijuana. Things like paranoia, intense anxiety, panic attacks, even hallucinations. The huge question now, the thing that has experts so concerned, is what happens when you take all those known risks and you amplify them with a dose of THC that is just off the charts.
And it's not just about the concentrate. You have to layer on the risks of vaping itself. We're learning that some of these devices can release nasty stuff like toxic metals and other chemical compounds.
The hot vapor itself can actually burn sensitive lung tissue. And yeah, in some rare but scary cases, the devices themselves have literally exploded and caused serious injuries.
And all of this brings us to our final and maybe most unsettling point. We've gone over everything we do know, but what's truly terrifying is everything we don't.
This is probably the most crucial takeaway of all. This whole trend is moving so fast that the science just can't keep up. We have basically zero long-term data on what these super high-potency concentrates do to a person's brain or body over 5, 10, 20 years. We are, in a very real sense, right in the middle of a giant, uncontrolled public health experiment.
So we're left with this massive, looming question mark. We've got decades of research on the marijuana plant, but all that research, it might not even apply here. When you're dealing with a substance that is 4 times stronger, delivered in a vapor that hits the brain almost instantly, what are the consequences going to be down the road? What does this look like in 5 years, 10 years, 20? That's the question that scientists are scrambling to answer. And frankly, it's a question that could end up defining the health of an entire generation.